So, Jim, how does Ohtani's injury impact his impending free agency?
Well, I mean, a lot of this we still don't know, right? If he's going to need the surgery or not, which it looks like he will, or the PRP injection, which some are doing, which is almost a partial kind of fix. But it's going to, you can as an agent, I mean, you can try, but teams aren't going to be paying for 8 or 9 or 10 years of pitching for him, which is where his value was going to go between $500 and $600 million. I really believe. So when you look at it and say, well, and by the way, there's other pitchers that have had 2 Tommy Johns. Nathan Eovaldi has pitched really, really well. Daniel Hudson as a reliever. So there are guys that can do that, but there's a lot more risk when they come back from that second one. So maybe it's a 4 or 5 year deal as a second-time Tommy John guy, and so that cuts into the value significantly. Probably, I don't know, 150 or maybe even 200 million less because of that. It's still going to be a heavy contract, but I think that this injury, more than anything, really, really impacted what he'll be able to command, because he was going to be able to go at the high end of both pitching and hitting.
Yeah, obviously it reduces a little bit of that unicorn status, being able to do both. But Anthony DiComo, how do you think this news impacts the Mets' chances of signing him?
Well, that's what's interesting, Amy, is I actually think it increases it from about 0 to, okay, maybe. And the reason why I say that, the Mets were never going to pay $500, $600 million for Shohei Ohtani, not with the way they're looking at this competitive window of 2025, 2026. But they do want to be competitive next year. They've been clear about that. Does Shohei Ohtani now turn around and say, okay, I'll accept a 1-year deal or a 1-year deal with an option, something like that, to reestablish his value, or to rehab from the surgery while also DHing, something like that, and then go back to free agency? If that's the case and Ohtani's willing to do that, the Mets would be one of those teams that could pay him basically anything on a 1-year deal. They don't mind 1-year deals because it comes off the books and they don't have to worry about the risk. So it's still a small chance because they have bigger fish to fry than a DH, I think, at this point. But I do think it's possible.
There's another team out there that could pay him almost anything for a 1-year or 2-year deal. Anthony, what about the Yankees?
Well, Tony, you bring up a great point. The fact that the contract has changed so drastically and could be anything now. I mean, what Jim was saying is right. We were thinking long-term monster numbers, but now, who can get creative? What front office can get really creative? And I think that the Yankees should be in play here, because I look at that guy swing. I think of him just as a hitter. First off, a lefty swinging for that short porch. I mean, my goodness, look at, he's hitting all these home runs in Anaheim and all over the place. You put him in 81 games in Yankee Stadium, and the park is a joke, as we know. So how many home runs is he going to hit there? And look, with whatever happens with the UCL, like, what if he morphs into a hitter only? I'm not saying that that's anything that's out there or whatever, but maybe circumstances dictate that he has to concentrate on hitting rather than pitching. So wouldn't he become a super attractive DH to a team with an easy easy spot for a lefty to go shooting for home runs?